Okay. Okay. We
Oh,
live.
we're live. Crap. Usually I fake that. This time it was real.
Welcome to the Gambling Shack with my main man, Gabe Myers. You can follow me on Twitter at Robo Harris Jr. Follow my man, Gabe Myers, G_Myers 33. And tonight, we are debuting on YouTube.com live stream. The Gambling Shack is
Let's
here
go.
to stay. Excuse me for the phone update, but we are here right now at the Gambling Shack live on YouTube.com. Trying something differently with the streaming, trying to talk to our fans a little bit more, to our shackers out there. So, Gabe, what's up, man?
Man, I was just telling you, I really need a haircut, but it's going to be quite risky. And I've started a new workout regimen this week. I gotta shed some poundage. Shed some poundage. So it's I'm 2 days removed from my arm workout, so my arms are hella sore. The second day is worse than the first day.
Gotcha.
And then I'm 1 day removed from my leg workout. So my legs, when I had to go down the stairs when I was done at the gym today, because
Yeah.
like I have to go upstairs, get to the equipment. That was rough. And I did chest today, so we'll see how I feel tomorrow.
Ooh, my goodness, you're gonna need an ice bath. You're gonna need an ice pack. You're gonna need a lot of things, man.
Dude, I want
Going
to
for
see.
yourself.
I'm getting close with the people in the athletic community here in Las Vegas, New Mexico. So I'm gonna see if I can get an ice bath somewhere, like on Friday at the end of the week. Let my whole body just relax. But
Well,
one thing at a time. One thing at a
oh yeah,
time.
I always take it one step at a time. Well, Gabe, I just got my first dosage of the vaccine.
Ooh,
Um, pretty cool.
you're
Pretty
gonna be
cool.
feeling it. Or I get the second one's the one that's bad. The first one,
Yeah,
most people don't have a really strong reaction to.
yeah. I've heard that the second one, is a tough one. Um, I've heard just minor headaches. I've heard more, I guess, drowsiness, or whatnot. But the first one wasn't too bad. But I guess I was tired because of my work schedule. So when I got home from it,
I just went to sleep.
yeah, I woke up. It was like 9 o'clock. I was like, oh, Houston playing. Houston. Oh, that game is tonight. Wait, they playing Oregon State. Let me wipe my eyes. Let me see what's going on here. Wait, no, they were playing Syracuse at the time. I was like, oh, they playing Syracuse. I was like, okay, let's go. Okay, let's see what they're gonna do. But just arm soreness. Now I could sleep on my arm. It's not too bad. But people, if you haven't got vaccinated, please get the vaccination. Stop. Put down all those conspiracy theories, books and the articles, the fake clickbait articles. If you haven't got vaccinated and you can get vaccinated, please get vaccinated so this world can go to normalcy as possible. Not saying it'll go back to the old life, but it'll go back to normalcy in 2022. 2021, we're gonna wear masks for the rest of the year. This is how I see
Y'all ain't wearing masks in Texas, man.
it. Oh, Governor Abbott said, mandate the mask, be free. But hopefully, man, no
Hey,
breakout.
speaking of things going on in Texas,
Mm-hmm.
Rob, we got to get you into the UFC. There's a pay-per-view coming to Houston in the month of May. Rob's got to win
Okay.
some bets so we can send Rob to UFC 262. Really get him on the train with me out here.
Oh yeah. Let's do it. Let's do it. I mean,
We got Nate Diaz on the card in Houston.
okay.
That's a name you know.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
that's the co-main event. The main event is a lightweight title for Khabib's now vacant title between Charles Oliveira and Michael Chandler, which that for like people who follow the sport, that's a really intriguing fight. I love Charles
Okay.
Oliveira, so
Okay.
it's Charles Oliveira is a beast. He's the record holder in all of UFC history for most submission victories. Dude's jiu-jitsu game is absurd, and he's been a pro. He's been in the UFC since he was 20 or 21. So,
wow.
like, yeah, and he's like, I think he's 31 or 32 now. But he was in a different weight class. He was cutting too much weight, but he's found his weight class now. He's always been, a wizard on the ground with his jiu-jitsu, but now he's come into his own as a striker. In his last two performances against Tony Ferguson and against Kevin Lee, been outstanding. So yeah, and then Michael Chandler, he's only had one fight in the UFC. He's coming from Bellator. He beat Dan Hooker, who was a 6th ranked guy in the world, KO'd him in the first round with a monster punch. But he's more of a wrestler. But he was one of the best lightweights in the world. He just wasn't in the UFC. He was in Bellator. But everyone knew like he was one of the best guys in the world. So now he's getting his shot at the title now because of the way the divisions worked out. Conor and Poirier are going to fight again, so those two aren't going to fight for the title. Gaethje just fought for the title, hasn't fought since, so you can't really put him in a title position. So Oliveira Chandler, which Oliveira deserves his shot. It was just who was going to fight him. So Oliveira versus Michael Chandler. Here we go. I'm excited for that one. We got to get Rob out there. Nate Diaz, Leon Edwards is a co-main event. Diaz is a bigger name. Leon Edwards is a way better fighter. And it's a good fight for him to take because he's going to beat Nate Diaz more than likely. And that's to get his name out there because he's going to, a lot of people are going to watch fight because of Nate Diaz and they're going to be like, oh, damn, this Leon Edwards dude's pretty good. Oh, it turns out he's a 3rd-ranked welterweight in the world. who's after he beats Nate Diaz will be on a 9-fight winning streak. So
Gotcha. Okay, I'm gonna check this out. Look, we got.
It's not 12. Hey, I went to UFC 247 in Houston in February 2020. I recommend UFC events.
You went when the world was open. Okay.
It was the second to last pay-per-view before it shut down.
Gotcha.
It was the second to last one. John Jones on that. It was John Jones's last fight, actually.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It was John Jones.
I'm gonna speak for all the degenerates. After this over, we got two more weeks of college basketball. Well, really a week of college basketball.
We got the Final Four games on Saturday, the championship on Monday, Gonzaga's coronation on Monday, and then we're gonna then we got to focus on we still got college football here. You're pretty proud of me, Rob. I put multiple college football things in my bets this week.
All right. I like to be surprised. So I didn't even check everything out. I like the surprising because Gabe throws a lot of curveballs at me. So okay.
I need
to change. Yeah, I need to change my lock. Actually, you stole my lock. But
wait, that was your lock?
Well, I looked at. I was gonna put that as a parlay.
If that's your lock, then stick with it. We'll just talk about that together.
I got another one.
Okay, you got another one. Okay, because I saw that line and I was like, "Whoa, I'll take that." That team's winning by about 50 points a game.
Man, I'm gonna apologize to the. We're gonna get into the show, people. People want we're gonna get into the show. I just want to apologize to all the FCS schools. Man, it's like when I look at football now, I'm like, oh, I forgot we got football. I just want to apologize to all the 1AA schools because I just forget, man. I just forget that it is some foosball action. I guess I'm upset at the SWAC conference. This is my little soapbox with the SWAC conference.
Go on your soapbox.
I'm upset because I'm like, yo, guys, we don't have the resources. We do not have the resources, SWAC. Why are we playing? Grambling State is really only going to play 3. They're only going to play 4 games this year. Pretty much.
Doesn't Grambling have like the most resources any school in the SWAC though?
Yeah, they do. Yeah. Eddie Robinson got some money inside there somewhere.
Yeah.
Look, oh my goodness. But the COVID issues, all the cancellation against Alabama A&M, cancellation against Texas Southern. They were supposed to play Texas Southern this Saturday. That's not going to happen. And then so now you're waiting on Southern, but hopefully for Grambling's sake, hopefully all your players, all your scholarship players are recovered from the COVID-19 to even play that game, right? Mm-hmm. So it's just a waste. Texas Southern too. They just a waste. Alabama and them only played one game. They should have followed Alcorn State. Just opt out. Just opt out.
I mean, the concept of spring football was always weird.
Yeah.
It feels weird right now, but I'll get into it in a little. I'm not minding it because of my lock that I'll get into in a bit that I have quite the vested interest in. Because it might be the best chance at a national championship a school I hold near and dear has ever had.
Hey, man. Yeah.
Because if it happened in the fall, we weren't winning the national championship. I can tell you that much. We weren't winning the title if it happened in the fall, but now it's just weird. But we'll talk a little college basketball here. So the Pac-12 better than the Big Ten, just as we all expected in the tournament. Pac-12, who no one really regards as a power conference anymore, in the Big Ten, who the media force-fed us, tell us, the Big Ten is the best conference we've ever seen. Every team's a tournament team. Michigan is better than Gonzaga. Jay Billis was telling me on ESPN. Stop it with that nonsense. Stop it. I've been saying all year the Big Ten is overrated. I actually think the Big 12 is the best conference in college basketball this year. I think most years the ACC. This year the ACC was not very good. I think the Big 12 was the best conference this year. 8 of the 9 Big Ten teams who made the tournament were out the first weekend.
True.
Their one of their 1 seeds lost, and both of their 2 seeds lost the first weekend. One of them to a 16 seed or a 15 seed.
15 seed. Yep.
Man, just all year I was force fed this narrative about how amazing the Big Ten was. I actually got a lot of joy from UCLA winning last night. I got a lot of joy. I don't even really like UCLA. I really don't. Yeah. I don't even like UCLA. I hate the way they play. I wanted to gouge my eyes out after watching Gonzaga and having to watch that game. My eyes were bleeding at the ineptitude on offense of that game. Telling me those teams can beat Gonzaga, please. And it shows UCLA is a 14-point underdog, as they should be. Only team that shouldn't be a double-digit underdog is Baylor. That's the only team that, without divine intervention, could beat Gonzaga. Every other team in the country would need divine intervention. That is my opinion. So, with that being said, I thought this at the beginning of the tournament. You were a little bit different than I was. Gonzaga was plus 210 when the brackets got released. When we made our futures bets, Gonzaga was plus 250 to win a national championship. I thought it should have been Gonzaga or the field. I thought Gonzaga should have been a plus 130.
Yeah.
That was my opinion. Now they're down to and I think Baylor could beat them. I think if those teams played 10 times, I think Gonzaga would win 7. But I do think Baylor could beat them with, like I said, without divine intervention. Should Gonzaga have been favored over the field? They're minus 200 now to win the title, with the only team that can compete with them still in the tournament. I would get the minus 200 to win the title if Arkansas had knocked off Baylor. If Arkansas had knocked off Baylor, I would get it a little bit more. But if you're going to have a plus 210 to start it all off with nobody on that side of the bracket to compete with them anyway, minus 200 just feels like a lot. I think it should have been them over the field. They should have been maybe not favored. I put favored in here. Maybe not favored because you can't really do that. But plus 130 Gonzaga is what it should have been at the start of it. I just think this is the best. This is the best team I've seen in college basketball in a while.
Yeah, and to your point, every win that Gonzaga has possessed in this tournament has been double digits.
Well, they've covered the spread all 4 games.
Covered the spread all 4 games.
They're winning by an average of 24 points a game. Every win this season except one has been by double digits. The only one that wasn't was, I believe it was December 2nd against West Virginia. They were playing West Virginia. They won by 5, and Jalen Suggs, who's their best player, missed half the game with a leg injury. He missed half the game. He came back in. He was still injured when he came back in, but they were down, and he came back into the game. He turned the tide of the game, and they won. And And that was when West Virginia had Oscar Shibwe and Derek Culver. Shibwe got suspended. He's actually going to be at Kentucky next year. So that team, like if they matched up again, Gonzaga would win by double digits, barring injury. But 28-29, but even the Kentucky team with Towns and Cauley Stein and Devin Booker and Trey Lyles and the Harrisons, all those guys, they weren't even dominant at that level. Now, you can say they played in tougher conference, but the SEC in 2015 was not that tough of a conference. Like the way, the style with which Gonzaga plays, so many teams in college basketball are offensively inept. I mean, look at that. What was the final score last night's game? 51-49?
Yeah.
Between UCLA and Michigan.
Great defensive game.
If you want to call it that, sure. Or just neither team knows how to play on offense, which is most teams in college basketball outside of Baylor and Gonzaga, basically. But Gonzaga plays a style. They're the only team that knows how to move the ball. They're the only team that knows how to pass. It's why they were such a big favorite coming in. I think they should have been a bigger favorite. And now in a Final Four with Houston, the best defensive team, Baylor, a top 5 defense and a top 5 offense, UCLA is they're going to get dusted. But with two really good teams on the other side still, Gonzaga's an overwhelming favorite. And maybe some of that is because Houston and Baylor have to play each other.
True. And somebody has to come out of
maybe because their odds get downgraded because I think Baylor's significantly better than Houston, but we'll get into that. But am I crazy, Rob? Just tell me if I'm crazy or not, and then we'll get into our picks. Not overall. No, we know I'm crazy overall. Just tell me if I'm crazy about this.
Well, yeah, you are crazy. No, I don't think you're crazy. I don't think you're crazy. Just saying that Gonzaga is the favorite. I mean, they're the best offensive team that I've seen in this conference so far. In this tournament, excuse me. Like the ball just moves. They got great shooters. I love Timmy. I love his style of play. You know, once he gets going, kiss it to the fans after the dunk. But you know, the guys just having fun under Mark Few. I still love Baylor. I just think Baylor, the small ball, I wouldn't even call it small ball, but like just the 3-headed guard monsters they have in that backcourt, like I think just kind of sets them apart a little bit. They got to really be on their A game to keep up with the Zags, man, because if you fall and slip like USC that game, the closest score of that game was 7-2. Other than that, Gonzaga ran that game from the first half to the end of the game. So I think you gotta match up with the Gonzaga. You gotta match up with the Zags when they steal the ball. You gotta get back quickly on defense because you know they got a 3-on-2, they got a 2-on-1. Like they got a lot of things going on. So I think the key. I know we're just overlooking UCLA. I mean, we should, because I'm looking at it as a Pac-12 team who just got dusted.
UCLA is not even the best team in Los Angeles.
Yeah. I mean, let's just stick to the conference. They're not the best in that conference. They were the first 4 in, and they still stand. They still dancing, but I don't think they can compete with the Zags at all.
I mean, they're not. They can't score enough, and we've seen that they just don't score.
Yeah,
and I think Baylor's really good defensively. I think they're going to get taken apart by Gonzaga when they play because they play and this is little X's and O's where I talk about Syracuse and San Diego State, where I said watch out, it's a bad matchup. Where Baylor is going to be a bad matchup, they are so aggressive on defense. Yeah. The way you beat aggressive defenses is not with individual brilliance. That's not how you beat aggressive defense. You beat it with ball movement and passing. No one passes the ball better than Gonzaga. True. So unless Baylor's ball pressure is just overwhelming Gonzaga, which I just don't think it will, then I mean Gonzaga's going to pick them apart. USC was supposed to be a bad matchup because they got a bunch of size in the front court. Gonzaga's not going to get buckets at the rim. Gonzaga's not going to be able to rebound, and they're not that great defensively. Well, what they do defensively that first 10 minutes, they just they tightened the screws on them. USC turned the ball over every other possession.
Yeah.
I mean, every other possession, it was a turnover, and Gonzaga's there forcing it. They're not the greatest defensive team in the world, but they don't make mistakes on defense. And on offense, they're just better. The way they play is just better. I think We'll see. I've thought those were the two best teams Thanksgiving when the season opened. I've never thought anyone else was better than either of those two teams. And I've made that very clear on this show. And friends that I have who say I'm crazy for thinking that's the only possible title game that we can get. Well, if Gonzaga wins a 14-point favorite, and if Baylor wins as a favorite, then that's a title game we're getting, which is the only title game we were ever going to get, in my opinion, this season.
I mean, Baylor and Gonzaga was the best two teams coming. I didn't hear nobody say Kentucky. I didn't hear nobody say Duke. I didn't hear nobody say North Carolina. You gotta see. I know the viewership wanted those three schools, but they weren't good this year.
They weren't. And and CBS with their Big Ten contract tried to push Michigan down our throat and I don't know why Jay Billis was telling me Michigan was better than Gonzaga and Baylor, that they were better than those guys. They never were.
No.
They never were. I like Juwan Howard. I don't want to be a Michigan hater because I do really like Juwan Howard. And I actually think he will win if not multiple titles at Michigan. Yeah. I do not think this team was very talented. And they went 26-5 or something this year. They were really they had a really good record. They won a lot more games than they should.
And limited play.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what Juwan Howard does. But let's get into our picks here. I'll start. Baylor and Houston. We both have picks in this game. So I'll start here. Baylor, Houston. I like Baylor to win this game. I've probably made that very clear. But one thing I do like, Houston is really good defensively. I think Baylor's really good defensively as well. I like the under 134.5 here. Now, Baylor can really score and really shoot the ball. Reason why I like unders Houston with Grimes, Giroux, and Sasser, they really get after you on the ball and they really rebound. So Baylor's a decent rebounding team as well. But Houston really rebounds. Baylor's not going to get those second shot opportunities. Don't think Houston's really going to get those second shot opportunities. And I don't think Baylor's going to get those transition threes. So where they're most deadly on a three ball is offensive rebound, kick out, Jared Butler, Maceo Teague three ball. That's where they're most deadly shooting the three off the offensive rebound when the defense is scrambling. I don't think they'll get those opportunities on the second chance. I don't think they'll get the opportunities on the fast break against Houston to shoot the threes. So I like the under in this game in Houston. They're great defensively, but they're not a really good offensive team. Their best offense is their offensive rebounding, quite frankly. I mean, unless they're just hot from the three-point line, which, but I don't – Baylor, with the way they defend, I don't think that's going to be the case. So I like the under 134.5, despite that's going to feel a little low to a lot of people because Baylor's a really good offensive team. This game's going to be played in the 60s. I think are in the 50s. I think we're looking at a 62-59 final score. Something along. Actually, I like Baylor to cover, so I'll say 66-57 or something. Something along those lines. I think it's going to be I think that this game is going to be it's going to be a boxing match in a phone booth is what it's going to be. I mean, these guys are going to be going at each other.
Yeah, I mean, this is long awaited. State of Texas. I think it's very excited to see this matchup. I'm seeing all the Houston Chronicle writers excited about it. And, it's good for the state.
It's good for U of H. They were a great program in the 80s. They really haven't been relevant since. Kelvin Sampson's done an outstanding job. And Houston's got a lot of high school basketball talent out there every year. So U of H ain't going anywhere. These dudes are not this whole roster is from the state of Texas. U of H is going to be able to recruit at a high level. They're going to keep getting dudes in there. Kelvin Sampson has got players who buy into what he wants to do. I'm happy for U of H. I think they're going to be around for a while.
Yeah, they are. For me, my first betting play will be Houston +5 versus Baylor. Just because of those simple reasons that you said, that both of these teams are very good on the defensive side. And Houston is probably one of the best offensive rebounded teams. So, I mean, like you said,
I think statistically they are the best one.
Yeah, statistically they are the best offensive rebounding team, and that will keep them in the game. Now, the question that you got to ask yourself Can Houston get hot from threes? Can Marcus Sasser have that same game he just had against Oregon State? Hopefully he can. And can like Houston not get, discouraged? They can't get discouraged against a team like Baylor because, like you said, Baylor's a good shooting team. They're a great first half team, by the way. So if Houston want to stay in this game, of course you got to compete. You got to compete, and you got to stay with this Baylor Bears team because man, they're good.
Yeah,
They're good.
they're
But
really good.
they're really good. But +5, I think it's gonna be a battle, man. I think for the state of Texas, this game's gonna go down to the wire at the last second. I think, Baylor squeezed out by 3. I think like 62-59, like you said, or 63-60. I like the under as well because it's just you at the height of the moment, the heat of the moment, like battle, war. Both of these teams are gonna give their blood, sweat, tears. If Jerome got to play with another bad hip, he's gonna play with another bad hip. He wants to win so bad. So I think this is gonna be a battle, man.
Yeah. Yeah, the one thing, so like I said, I do like Baylor to cover in this game. It's just when you got two really good defensive teams, it's who's going to make shots. I just trust Baylor infinitely more to make shots than I do Houston. That's my I think this is a bad matchup for the Cougars. I do think the score will be close. I do think Baylor will control the game though, because I think this is a bad matchup for Houston because you're playing a team that's aggressive and really good defensively, like you are, but is a lot better offensively.
Yeah.
And I think Baylor's just going to there's going to be a lot of tough shots taken in this game. There's not going to be a lot of easy points. And just who's going to make these tough shots? Well, Baylor just makes more shots. I mean, this is the way they play. Now, if Houston can dominate offensive rebounding, that can keep them in the game, like you said.
Yeah.
If they can dominate the offensive rebounding, I've seen Carolina teams do that with Roy Williams for years where they can't hit anything, but they got two guys like Bryce Johnson, Isaiah Hicks down there just rebounding the heck out of the ball, getting second chance points. That's how Houston's going to, if they want to win this game or cover the spread, that's how they're going to have to do it. So my second one, go with another under. You never want to root for unders because that's basically rooting for bad basketball. But I like Gonzaga UCLA unders. And I said it last week, Gonzaga, they score between 85 and 95 points. That hasn't really been the case in this tournament or the last two games in the Sweet 16, the Elite Eight. They've been scoring more in the mid-80s, between 80 to 85 points. And UCLA is a really good defensive team. Like Mick Cronin's just a really good defensive head coach. What Mick Cronin created at Cincinnati is kind of what Houston is now. And that's what he's starting to build over at UCLA as well. And UCLA plays at a slow pace. So I like the under 145. I like Gonzaga, get, 80 to 85 points. I don't really trust UCLA to get more than, to clear 65 here. Like, I don't trust UCLA to score. I think this is a blowout. I just don't trust UCLA to score. I think this game will be over quickly.
Yeah. I agree pretty much with all this. Like, I mean, I don't see, oh my goodness. Yeah, I don't see UCLA even getting 40. I mean, I think this is just.
I hope they get 40 just as a basketball fan.
Gonzaga they just too much on both ends of the spectrum. Yeah, UCLA, like who's gonna? Let's move on. Next pick. Give me the Zags -14 versus UCLA. I want to just tell all the degenerates, the shackers, the bettors, the gamblers. When you betting on Gonzaga, don't overbet. When I mean overbet, don't overanalyze. Don't just bet it. If you think they're gonna cover the spread, just bet it. I messed myself up last week talking about the over with Creighton. It's like, man, I looked at that game and I was like, what was I doing?
Well, they hit first half overs, which was your lock.
Well, yeah, I know, but
they hit first half overs.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, you just overbet stuff. They were just -8. Zag's been blowing people out 10, 15, 20. Just, I know you're not supposed to follow trends in betting. That's a no-no. But
yeah, because every game is
different.
It's one unto itself. It's not beholden to a previous trend.
Yeah, but exactly, and that's just when you look at the Zags and you look at the number, don't get scared by the number. Just think about who the team is. Honestly speaking, but minus 14.
Yeah.
That's what I want to tell people.
I'm in total agreement with you here, Rob. This is actually my next pick is Gonzaga minus 14. Almost put it in as my lock. Yeah, I mean, is UCLA going to score 55 points? I mean,
Nah, I don't. I
I
mean,
mean, like that. I mean,
man, I wish
honestly,
Michigan would have won.
like, is
Ugh.
UCLA going to score 55 points in this game? Are they going to score 60? I mean,
Nah,
Gonzaga's been being held to like 83 points per game their last two games, or it's like 84, something like that. That's still more than any other college team is averaging. And that's
true.
like 10 points below their average. And that's because at the end of the game they're kind of just sitting on the ball. You know, the last 10 minutes against USC, they didn't have the same intensity they had the first 30. I'm with you 100%. I just don't think UCLA can play with these guys. Where's their scoring going to come from? That's the number one thing. And number two, I think McCrone is a really good defensive head coach. A lot of really good defensive head coaches that looked really dumb against Gonzaga this year. And then you have a team like Creighton who comes in, you know, and they play fast. They say, hey, we're just going to play fast. We're going to play our game. Can't do that against them. They're the best team in transition. The hard part with Gonzaga is they're a great offensive team. So naturally you think, okay, we got to slow it down against them. We got to force them to play in half court. Well, they're the best half court offensive team. And if you speed them up and try to press them, Jalen Suggs is the best point guard in the country. I think he's the best passer in the country. And you got Nembhard, who's also a really good point guard, and you got shooters. 4 of the 5 guys out there can shoot and hit the three. It's just it's almost impossible to try and defend these guys. I mean, you really just got to hope they're missing shots, but they get so many easy points. They do nothing but create good shots. I don't think this game is close.
Yeah, it is. It's not at all. Yeah, it's not at all. Last pick, I'm going to go first half. Shout out to my boy Jerry Bow because he's a guru at the first half, second half. I don't know how he does it. But first half, Baylor -3 versus U of H. Baylor averages 37 points in this tournament for first half points.
And that's with the Villanova game where they did not play very well.
Exactly. And I think that, like I said, that UH can't find their shot early on in the first half. If you look at UH last 2 games, Oregon State, Syracuse, they struggled in the first half. They really, really struggled.
Well, Oregon State, I thought they played pretty well.
Yeah, they played pretty. I mean, 30-20,
but Maryland game, they really struggled first half, and even their first game when they played the 15 seed, the margin ended up winning by like 40, but the margin didn't get big till the second half. The first half, for most of it, it was actually kind of close.
True. Yeah. So I just think with Baylor grading shooting ability as a team, I think they're gonna jump out early on the Cougs and hopefully to my bet. The Cougs in the second half figure it out like they always do in the second half. They most likely the Cougs watching them in this tournament, their second half. Some games been good, like Syracuse. Some games been like the Rutgers game. But they figured it out ultimately to get to this point, and I think that's what's going to happen. I just think Baylor just going to jump out and show them who's boss in the first half, and it's going to simmer down in the second half.
Yeah, I like this Baylor in the first half. I think, like I said, I think they can make shots. I question Houston's ability to do so here. This might be our first ever agreement that Gonzaga -14, where we both really like it.
Yeah, I mean, I said this. I said, man, if UCLA, I said this at the halftime mark, right before I closed my eyes, and somehow I woke up. It was 2 a.m. Anyway, I said if UCLA defeats Michigan, Gonzaga just whooped on a Pac-12 team and USC that badly. This team, offensively challenged, sneaks past Michigan. Now you get to face this team. I'm like, good Lord, it is going to be a beat down. So -14, like I said, don't overbet this.
Like, don't overthink it.
Don't
Yeah.
overthink it. Don't use so much logic that you talk yourself out of it. You know,
Yeah, don't talk yourself out of the obvious with this one.
so that's what I'm saying. Just go
And the
for it.
only reason why the number is not bigger is because UCLA is in the Final Four. Also, remember,
Yeah,
Vegas and LA are very close. Like, when I was in
true.
Vegas, a lot of UCLA fans there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
A lot of UCLA fans. A lot of UCLA and Syracuse. They represented UCLA and Syracuse. They represented in Vegas. But a lot of UCLA fans there. So you can't put that number too big. You don't want all the action coming in on one side. But and also UCLA is in the Final Four.
True.
They are in the Final Four. But don't overthink this. Gonzaga just is UCLA going to score 55 points? Like, that's are they going to score? Are they going to are they going to score more than 65?
No.
Are they going to score more than 65?
They're not. They're not
scoring at least 80.
They only scored 67 against Abilene Christian.
There you go. All right. Moving on now. Lock of the week. What was my lock? Oh, Loyola was my lock. That didn't pan out for me last week. But betting here this week. Rob loved my lock. So this absolutely lock it in. He wanted to lock this one in for himself. I told him he should do it, but he said he had another one. So that's okay. Lock of the week. The Sam Houston State Bearcats minus 25.5 against Northwestern State. Rob, have you been watching the Bearcats football team this year?
Man, look here. I was they were playing Lamar. Lamar jumped out to a 7-0 lead. On Bovada, they had a half a point on a live bet spread. I couldn't get my thumb on it quick enough and it closed out. So I was driving around or something. I was driving around. I was like, man, what was that score of that Lamar and Sam Houston game? And I just kept scrolling by. I didn't see it. And then I finally found it. I said, Sam Houston scored 71-17. I said, is this what we playing? Football?
That was Nicholls State, the game.
It was Nicholls State? I thought it was Lamar.
Nicholls State was 71-17.
And you know what's crazy about Nicholls State?
71-17.
71. Okay, but Nicholls State scored 70.
No, Sam Houston scored 71.
Yeah, Nicholls State scored 71 last week. I said, man, what's going on in the Southland?
Nicholls State was the 7th ranked team in the country when Sam Houston beat them.
Oh wow. A lot of football. But yeah, I love this pick. I mean, the Bearcats, man. Let me look up this young quarterback. You probably know him.
Eric Schmid.
Yeah, he cold.
What's funny with him, when I was there, he was like the 4th most talented quarterback on the roster. We had a dude transfer out and go to Central Michigan. He was probably more talented, but Eric Schmid just, he's a better like field general.
Gotcha.
If that makes sense. But he's been balling out, getting the ball, and he's a good athlete too. Schmidt, he can run around back there. And like Sam Houston, always got some good receivers. Man, what's the kid's name? The receiver. I need to look it up right now. He's gonna get some Walter Payton love this year.
Oh my God! Wait, so Sam Houston beat Lamar last week. Well, excuse me, they beat him March 20th, 62-7.
Yeah.
My goodness. Oh, I got my.
So Ezzard. I think it's Ezzard is the kid's last name. Against Lamar, he had 4 catches for 130 and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Okay, Jaquez Ezzard on the season, 10 catches for 366 yards and 5 touchdowns. He's getting 36.6 yards a catch, Rob.
And Northwestern State is 0-4.
It's only 25.5. And Sam Houston's won their last 2 by like 50.
Oh boy, this is crazy.
It's only 25.5. I love this. Dude, I'm telling you, watch out. Jaquez Ezzard is a baller. And Ife Adeyi, who I remember when Sam Houston got this kid to sign over there was like buzz in the football building, like this kid's going to be good. And he is electric. He's just a little overshadowed right now because Jaquez Ezzard is just murdering everybody, on the
Mhm.
outside. And Eric
Mhm.
Schmid, in 3 games this year, Eric Schmid has thrown for 1,100 yards and 10 touchdowns. Has also run for 4 more touchdowns.
Woodlands, Texas native. He's
Yeah.
from the Woodlands.
No, he
Okay.
was not like when he was not a big time recruit when he got to Sam. It's a little like Mac Jones ish at Alabama
Gotcha.
this year. It's a little Mac Jones ish where like we had other guys there that were like more highly sought after. But this guy just he came in, he just kept playing well, earned a starting spot. Yeah, he's Eric Schmid, he's a baller right now. So yeah, minus 25.5 for the Bearcats. That's only 25.5 I have to give up there. I'll take it. I like us to win by more than 4 touchdowns.
I'm about to bet all my stock money on them. My goodness.
Don't come for me if it don't work out.
I mean, this team is 0-4. I mean, you're not supposed to judge a team by its record, but I gotta judge that team by its record. Anyway, Sam Houston. All I know about Sam Houston, great quarterback system. If you can throw the ball, I seen Briscoe. Texas Southern got a chance to play.
That was my dude, Briscoe. That's who was there when I was there.
Texas Southern played them in 2016. Avion Hurst was the quarterback, brother of Jalen Hurts. Sam Houston beat up on Texas Southern as expected, but
did they play him 16 or 17?
It was 16 because he graduated in 16.
Oh, okay, I thought it was 17.
No, it was 17. Oh
no, we played Prairie View in 17.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was on TV. Yeah. I watched that game on TV at PV. You guys got a good victory out of them.
We won a lot of games. 16-17. We won a lot of games. Man. Could never beat North Dakota State or James Madison, but we won a lot of games.
Yeah. Good football school.
For those who don't know, North Dakota State and James Madison are Alabama and Clemson of FCS football.
Yeah, they always in the championship. Either one of them schools always in the.
But now Trey Lance is caught. Maybe we have a chance this year.
There is hope.
There is hope. I didn't have much hope going into the season. After we beat Nichols by 54, and I was like, all right, maybe we can.
Oh, goodness. I mean, let's get to my lock of the week. Last week, the over for the Zags and Creighton hit first half.
First half over.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, your whole game over was looking good for that too. About 6 minutes in.
Yeah, then nobody could make a shot. I was like, okay, I'm
and then second half they came out and it just slowed down. Creighton just lost their intensity in the second half.
Yeah, they couldn't make a shot. I'm gonna keep it light for my lock of the week. I'm gonna go to the SWAC. You went to the Southland, which you know very well. I'm gonna go to the SWAC, which I know very well. A lot of surprising moments. Grambling State is 0-3. The coach didn't lose. He lost one of his coaches. Coach Fives, he lost one of his defensive guys. It's a lot going on with Grambling. They went from a team who didn't lose at home to a team that lost 3 games at home. But it's been a wild season. I'm gonna go Arkansas Pine Bluff. Surprisingly, 2-0 against a struggling Mississippi Valley State. You fade the Delta Devils. As far as I know, Mississippi Valley State is.
Whenever Jerry Rice left, I stopped betting them.
You fade the Delta Devils, but pick this out about Arkansas Pine Bluff. They beat Grambling 48-21 for their last game. They've never been known to throw the ball at all, but Arkansas Pine Bluff, they'll have a decent quarterback. Had a good little wide out that I covered when I was covering the SWAC very heavy. But this young man, Skylar Perry from New Orleans, Louisiana, junior, this season 569 yards, 6 touchdowns, 1 interception. Last week against Grambling, 18 out of 30, 346, 4 touchdowns and 1 INT against a Grambling defense that used to be really tough. If he did that against Grambling, just imagine what he gonna
What's
do.
he gonna do against Valley State?
Look, last time Valley, they ain't played since they got beat up on Jackson State. Coach Prime.
Coach Prime, baby.
Coach Prime, Jackson State, Tigers, 43-7. That I watched that game for a little bit.
You bet that game too, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I did get that game as a lock. Valley can't move the ball on offense. They can't stop nobody on defense. So it's gonna be a long day for the Delta Devils. They don't matter if they're at home, they on the road, they at a neutral site. It don't matter.
So I want to reiterate to the listeners out there, because we're both doing this for our locks. If there's something that, like some niche that you know really well, bet that, because there's an inefficiency in the market. They're not as careful with this as they are with the Final Four games.
Yeah.
And also, okay, one of the other thing for Sam Houston State versus Northwestern State, last season, Northwestern State beat Sam Houston State in Huntsville to keep them out of the playoffs. Sam Houston lost conference championship on that. You think they're going to be ready to go today or Saturday?
Oh my! I gotta put a bet down. I
forgot to mention that because I was like, Jaquez Ezzard's averaging 37 yards a catch.
His team is.
If he catches a 30-yard touchdown, his yard per catch average goes down, Rob.
Yes.
If he gets 4 catches for 120 yards, his yard per catch average goes down.
That's really incredible, dog. Minus 25.5. Like you see lines like this on Alabama, whoever they play. Like
well, Sam Houston is the Oklahoma of FCS. We got great offense.
Yeah.
We can put points on the board. Now we're a little better defensive, and Oklahoma's getting better defensively too in college football. But now we're getting a little better defensively, so we're getting there.
I mean, if I don't think Sam Houston allowed 20 points this whole season, if I'm not mistaken.
No, we played Southeastern. They scored on it. It was that game was 43-30. That game was close.
Okay.
But that was first game of the year. It was Southeastern second game of the year because our first game had gotten postponed because of the winter storm. A lot of weird year for Sam Houston football. But so want to recap future bets. We both have Gonzaga, I have Gonzaga winning the national championship. Rob is Baylor winning the national championship. You got plus 300 odds. I got plus 250. I bet mine before the brackets came out. I placed another bet personally on plus 210 Gonzaga to win the national championship. Looking forward to collecting that on Tuesday. And then the future bet I put last week. So I had Florida State to win the East. That didn't pan out because for some reason they just thought the best way to beat Michigan was to not defend the 3-point line and just go one-on-one the entire game. I put Gonzaga to beat Baylor in the national championship game plus 550 odds. Did that last week. That's looking pretty good right about now. So need 2 more wins there. And then we both have Deshaun Watson playing for different teams. I have the Panthers. You have the Broncos. Who knows what's going to happen with that? Actually, weird thing I heard this week, both the Panthers and the Broncos are sniffing around Sam Darnold. So whichever one, actually, I think I like Sam Darnold more than you do. That's a whole other discussion, though. He has been playing.
I like Sam. I think he just needs.
Obviously, if I get Deshaun Watson, but you got to clear up this whole thing first.
Yeah, for sure.
These 2 teams. Here's the problem with Carolina. They can't really trade up because the only person I can trade up with is Atlanta at 4.
Mm-hmm.
But Atlanta's not going to trade to pick them. They're in the same division.
Yeah, true.
So that's the so I don't think Carolina can really draft a quarterback. I mean, I wouldn't draft Mac Jones 8th overall. If that's what they want to do, then go ahead and do it. I wouldn't draft Mac Jones 8th overall. But I've heard both those teams sniffing around Sam Darnold. So I figure if one of those teams, but who knows what's going to happen with Watson now if he's even going to play. I think both of our bets on that one kind of look toast.
I like Darnold in Denver. I don't know why.
I think this will be the last time we mention it until like something actually happens with Deshaun.
Yeah,
because I think it's so toast right now. So yeah, Rob's counting on Baylor to win the Natty. I'm counting on Gonzaga to beat Baylor in the Natty. Also March Madness prop bet. Rob bet at the start of the tournament Houston to win the Midwest Regional plus 250. Congratulations to Rob right there.
Thank you,
I thought after last week, I thought Loyola would be able to go and do it. They did not. And that's all we'll say on that. I do have one more future bet I want to put. I didn't put it in here, but I want to put it in. This is a long-term one.
Oh,
And I'm
Lord.
betting it because I love the odds. The Houston Astros plus 2,500 to win the World Series.
Pitching will be something for me to look out for. The offensive side, losing Springer, but you still have the core guys there, and you still like to me, you have a full season. Like you had guys like Bregman struggled, Altuve struggled, and there was a lot of great hitters around the major leagues that struggled due to the lack of the games of the season and just what the circumstances that occurred to me. But I think you get a full season from a lot of great hitters. I love my Astros in Houston. I love my Astros in Houston.
So it's the odds here because let me read it for you here. Let me read it for you here. The World Series odds here. So the Dodgers are plus 300.
True.
Which I get it because they won the World Series last year and they added Trevor Bauer, who won the Cy Young. They got a loaded roster. The Yankees plus 550, I would not touch. I do not think this Yankee team is any better than any of the Yankees teams in the previous years. I wouldn't touch the Yankees. The Padres plus 800. Intriguing. I like the Padres, but those odds are too high for me. Chicago White Sox plus 1,000. Nah. Mets plus 1,100. A lot of stars there, but that's kind of what they've been doing. They accumulate stars. They don't really do anything with it. The Braves are also plus 1,000. They had the Dodgers on the ropes last year and couldn't finish it off, and now the Dodgers are better. And plus 1,000, those are, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Then you got the Blue Jays 1,600. I'm sorry, the Blue Jays are not better than the Astros.
No.
The Blue Jays are not better than the Astros. The Blue Jays are the third best team in their division. Tampa Bay is plus 3,000. I almost want to put some money on Tampa Bay there as well. The Twins are plus 2,000. They haven't won a playoff game in 18 years. The Cardinals are plus 2,500. I'm sorry, they're not that good. Oakland's plus 2,800. They just lost their best reliever. It was hard. So Houston at plus 2,500. I like those odds.
Yeah.
For a team with playoff experience, team that has won big playoff games before with a really good lineup, and Framber Valdez starts pitching well. You got Greinke, who's a veteran. You got McCullers, who pitches well in the playoffs. Christian Javier pitched really well last year. He carries that into this year. Urquidy, who's pitched really well in playoff games. Let's say three of those guys, they're pitching well going to the playoffs. You told me Houston with that lineup couldn't make a World Series run?
They could. They could.
So for me, it's the value there. If they were plus 1,000 or even plus 1,500, absolutely not. But at plus 2,500, you got the Twins ahead of them. You got the Blue Jays ahead of them. Who even? I think Hyun-Jin Ryu is their ace. Toronto. You're not winning a World Series if Hyun-Jin Ryu is your ace. He needs to be your fourth starter.
Yeah, I mean, the odds are there. I guess I looked at it as, well, you can't go X's and O's on a diamond. But when as far as like pitching and hitting, try to dissect it.
It's the number. It's the number there.
Yeah.
For me, it's the number. That's what it is. I think they're the best team in their division. They're going to be in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like they're going to be in the playoffs. And we've seen it in baseball. Look at the Nationals in 2019 when the Astros were incredibly good. The Nationals got into the playoffs and just rode Scherzer and Strasburg. They did not lose a game that one of those two guys started. They rode those two to a World Series. So, I mean, you get into the postseason. Baseball is the one sport where it's like you get in the tournament, anything can happen. True. Even basketball, like generally, you have a few outliers, but generally the best.
Yeah, college college, not NBA. NBA, you have an idea who's going to win.
Well, NBA is a 7-game series, so
Yeah,
it plays out. Even in college, though, generally the better team wins. Generally.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
There's outliers like UConn in 2014.
Yeah.
There's
Okay.
outliers.
Breaking news for Gabe. 2,500.
That's Astros plus 2,500 to win the World Series. So we'll just keep an eye on that. As we head into football season in September, that's a long-term play is what that is right there.
Oh yeah.
Which, at 2,500 it probably should be. All right. Parlay of the week. This is where we make Rob compromise a core belief of his to do a straight leg parlay. Rob, tell the viewers what they should do instead of a straight leg parlay.
Round robin, man. I always do a round robin. I know it don't hedge your bet, but
it's not as sexy. The payout
ain't the payout is not as sexy. It's not that big, but it's all about continue to roll your money if it continues to hit. Voila. We both of our parlays had busted.
Neither of our parlays were good last week.
I like your parlay. That's your favorite. Let me see. I guess I go first because I'm reiterating my bets pretty much. I'm gonna go UH +5 versus Baylor. I explained that earlier. Houston, Baylor under 135. Gabe, you explained that earlier. Gonzaga first half -8 versus UCLA.
If I didn't put Sam Houston, if I didn't bet college football this week, I would have put Gonzaga -14 as my lock and -8 as my as a bet in there. So I like that one a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't feel like going through the numbers, but I know Gonzaga at least outscores their opponent at least by 50 points in the first half, and that's going to happen to UCLA. Like
they're gonna, it'll be a double-digit game at halftime.
And prime time, Deion Sanders, Jackson State 1.5 cover and probably outright victory versus the Southern Jaguars. Hey, look. Southern, I salute you.
Underdog?
Huh?
They're underdogs?
Yeah, they're underdog at home. Southern is pretty good this year. They got I think they got a young stud running back. Southern Jaguars whooped up on my alum, Texas Southern, last week. My goodness, 52-21. It was a beat down, but prime time, man. He got those guys believing, and that's what it's all about. Yeah, 51-3. Yeah, it's all about believing. They believe. The Jackson State Tigers. They believe they could do some damage. I think this is it's a good start. I want to see what they're gonna do with a full season next year. Next season, not next year. Next season, I want to see what Jackson State does with a full schedule. A non-conference schedule. I want to see what Coach Prime, man, he got up on his sleeve. They're gonna. I don't know if I hope ain't no bowl game or nothing like that. But I think Jackson State will finish above 500, and I like them against Southern this year. I like Jackson State's defense. They just got to close it out in the fourth quarter. Let that game slip away against Alabama State, their only loss of the season. And I think Coach Prime will make a statement. He knocked down Southern, probably one of the best teams other than Alcorn State, by the way. They're not playing this season. They opted out. But I think, Coach Prime will take care of his business.
Yeah, I can't believe Coach Prime's an underdog. That's kind of shocking there. I was going to ask they'd lost the game, but you just said they lost one. One against Alabama State. I like it. I like your parlay. It's hitting this week. We're gonna head over to mine now. Get some college football in there. Southeastern Louisiana -16 against Lamar. So Sam Houston's played one close game this year against Southeastern Louisiana. 43-38 was the final. Sam Houston also played Lamar this year. Final score of that was 62-7. About 12 hours after that game, Lamar informed their head football coach that he was no longer their head football coach. So that's what playing the Bearcats does to you. You fire your coaches after you play us. Coaches beware. We're handing out pink slips. But Lamar, I mean, you fire your head coach as a college team midseason. And as you're at Lamar, I can't imagine they have Lamar is not known for being a football power. I will say the facilities there are nice, but they're not known for being a football power. Like I said, facilities in Beaumont are really nice though for an FCS school. But this is not a good football team. Southeastern is a pretty solid team. I like them -16 here. I think Lamar is they're kind of a sitting duck right now. I don't think they're not going to provide much of a fight. I like Baylor -5. Oh, that's where we disagree because you have Houston +5. I like Baylor -5. Again, I just like them to make more shots. I also have Gonzaga first half -8. Again, I don't think UCLA is scoring with these dudes. You get some baseball in there. Baseball bet, my Houston Astros -110. Them and the A's, it's a pick'em opening. So it's a pick'em on the money line, but on the spread, they have it Oakland -1.5. But if you want -1.5, you get it's like +185, and if you want Houston +1.5, it's like -230 or something. Okay. They just did that to put a spread there. But I like the Astros -110. I like Greinke to get the win on opening day. Also, the Astros last year in the playoffs really teed off on Chris Bassett, the Oakland A's opening day starter. And Oakland's back into the bullpen. No more Liam Hendricks back there. So that's a loss for them. So really like Houston to go in on opening day and get the win. Also, the Astros have won, I believe it's 7 straight games on opening day. Every year since 2013, they've won their opening day game. So great opening day team there as well, like the Astros. And final one of the 5-leg parlay, going across the pond, as they say, to England, to the Premier League. My team is Arsenal. I love Arsenal. I'm sorry, but they're not beating Liverpool this weekend. I like Liverpool +120 to beat Arsenal. Liverpool has not been playing well lately, but Jurgen Klopp has really, in Premier League matches, has dominated Mikel Arteta, the Arsenal manager. I think Liverpool is more talented. I think their explosion and the way they press, Arsenal wanting to play out the back, they're going to make a couple of mistakes coming off this international break. Probably going a little too deep for Rob there, but I like Liverpool to win. They don't like the stylistic matchup for Arsenal. So I like Liverpool to win +120 odds there, because in soccer you can also bet a draw. So you can. You can also bet a draw. But I like in Liverpool they're actually in Arsenal. They're at the Emirates there in North London. But I do like Liverpool to go to North London and win. Parlay payout is 28-22. Can't bet my stimulus check on this one because my stimmy is gone. But I didn't gamble it all away. I actually gambled none of it away. I spent it all on stuff I was going to have to buy anyway. But since the stimmy came in, I just went ahead and bought it. So
yeah, you're productive.
I know. Look, I had to do adult. I rented a car, Rob. I rented a car. It is. I got to text like people who are like adults, like adult figures in my life, and text them that I rented a car and make them feel old.
But your parlay, I like it. I like all of it. I love the basketball. I love the college football. I even love the soccer. But I really love Southeastern Louisiana. I didn't know Lamar fired the head coach.
Yeah, about 12 hours. It's about 12. I think it was because the game ended at like 5 o'clock. And then like 8 o'clock the next morning. It was about 15 hours after the Houston game. Or that's when it was announced. He probably got fired like when he got back to the locker room.
Right, I mean, ooh. You really put this out here on the football field? You're out of here. You're out of here, man. Yeah, I mean, Lamar, they're a solid basketball team, but
dude, have you been to Beaumont?
Yeah.
My facilities out there. Facilities out there are nice, man.
Well, when she was there, they didn't have a football team. But yeah, so I gotta check out the facility.
Dude, like the basketball facility there, probably them and SFA, I would say are the top 2 in the South. Like SFA is nice. Lamar's might be nicer. Like Beaumont is not. It's a crap town.
Yeah, I mean it's a big
Like Beaumont, but like the basketball facility's nice. The football stadium is nice. And like when I went over there, I was going to a basketball game. I was going to cover Sam because it's about a 2-hour drive from Huntsville to Beaumont. I was going to cover Sam, and I got I just assumed a basketball arena was on campus, so I just went to the campus. Like, okay, I'll just see it. That's not the case. But I like drove past like the tennis facility and a softball and baseball. Like it's all nice. Like it's like all the athletic facilities are nice, and then it's just Beaumont around it. That's the problem.
but yeah, man, I love the parlay. We got some good bets going for the 2 games to 2 big Final Four games. I'm like,
man, I don't even know if I'll be able to. I don't even know how much I'll be able to watch the Final Four games, but at National Championship, I won't be able to watch, man. I won't be able to watch. Here in New Mexico, I got the 2nd ranked team in the state and the 4th ranked team in the state playing about a mile away from where I'm sitting. So I'm gonna be at that. We got Santa Fe, St. Michael's, and Robertson High School. No, there's no betting lines on that game.
Oh, but God, please, let the kids play. Let the kids play. Oh no, God.
Robertson is at home. That's probably a 3 points in their favor.
But that's the Gambling Shack. Then there was 4 teams left. The Battle of the Texas, the Battle of the State of Texas, and
the West Coast.
It's
Texas versus the West Coast.
Wow, I never thought about it.
Yeah, it's Texas versus the West Coast.
Spokane, and what the hell UCLA at?
Los Angeles.
Well, no, it's not. It's like
University of California at Los Angeles.
Like Westwood, what of them anyway. But yeah, battle of the state of Texas and the West Coast. As you know, my name is Robert Harris Jr., aka Bobby Beats. You can follow me at Twitter at Robo Harris Jr. My man Gabe Myers, G_Myers 33.
We're getting back in basketball playing shape. I'm going for that 10-day contract, Rob.
Yes, sir.
We're going for that. We're going for that. The Lakers told me that they make LeBron a second option, so they're looking to bring someone in.
They're gonna be out a little bit more time, Mr. Myers. So we'll need you. We'll need you to come on the floor. Last 2 minutes of the game.
Oh man! If I ever get on the floor of an NBA game to stop watching the NBA, that's then you know the product really went downhill.
Oh my goodness! But as you know, we'll be back probably to conclude the college basketball season. We'll probably look ahead to some things.
Maybe we could do a special pod Monday.
Probably, we could do something.
Or Sunday. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
We're at a title game.
Yes, sir. And as you know, always happy betting.
Happy betting.